See, discussed yesterday, like there is a class called stack. In collections, you know about array list class, you know about linked list class, and we discussed about stack class, and there are five methods in that. Okay, and the methods of stack class are empty, push, pop, peek, and search. So we'll write a small program on the stack class, and once we got the program on stack, then we will start with how do we sort the elements. Today we are going to look at about what is comparable interface and what is comparator interface. Okay, so these things I'm going to explain today. Okay, we are going to look at about that, guys. So first, now we are going to look at, okay, now we are going to start and discuss about something which is called sorry, something which is called a program on stack. So we are creating a Java project and we want to create the project name as a stack program. Okay, we want to create the program name as a stack program, right? And we'll start. And we'll start. So now, guys, let's do one thing. So here I am creating one new class, and the class is like anything. Just class name is main class. Class name is main class, okay, and public static void main method. Okay, right. Package name I have not given. Suppose if I don't provide any package name, the class will store in a default package. By default, a class will be stored in a default package, which is nothing but the package name is not there. This class is not stored in any package. By default, it's going to store in a default package. Because while creating the class, I didn't give any package name there. I forgot actually. If I don't provide the package name, by default, the Java files or the classes are getting stored into one default package. Okay. Now, okay. I'm going to explain about what packages are and all. But now, as of now, coming to the point. Today, first I want to write a small program on stack. So stack of integer. Let's say, for example, stack is equal to new stack of integer. Okay, so just I'm creating one stack object. Now, if I want to add elements to the stack, then I can call push method. Push method is used to add the element at the top of the stack, because stack maintains one top pointer. Elements are pushed into the stack from top pointer. Elements are also removed from top pointer only. That's why it is going to follow a principle called as last in, first out. Okay, because one from top place, for example, if I'm adding nothing but if I'm inserting elements from top place, then push operation, pushing from top, pop also from top, with whatever the element which is into the stack last, that is the first element to come out. That is called as last in, first out. Okay, let's go ahead and write the program code. Okay, just only to show you those five methods, I'm writing this program. See, for example, stack dot push. Stack dot push is a method. What I can push now, I can push some integer value, right? I can push some integer value because it's a stack of integers. Let's say I'm pushing value 10. Okay, once again, stack dot, then actually I have all the methods of, okay, I can tell you once again, I have all the methods of list interface, add method, add of index, add all, add first, add last. All these methods are there on stack. I can call because stack is a extension of vector class. Vector is a implementation of list interface. So basically, list interface methods are inherited into vector class, and vector class methods plus list interface methods both are inherited into stack class. It is inheritance concept. So obviously, I can able to call all these methods also. I can call clear method. I can call capacity method. Okay. Or I can call add all method, add first, add last. All these methods are there. Okay. Get of index, get first element, get last element, index of a particular element is empty. Apart from this, we also have the methods like what? Push, pop, peek, search. Okay. Empty. These are the new methods in the class stack. So we want to use, okay, we want to use a stack. For example, pushes an item into the top of the stack. Okay. This has exactly the same effect as add element. Okay. Which means if I call push method or if I call add method, both will be done at the top of the stack only, because stack follows a notation called last in, first out. When I remove, from where it is going to be removed? It is removed from the top of the stack. Okay. To remove from the top of the stack, we have a method called what? Pop. But if I want to remove from a particular index, for example, okay, then we have a method called as remove of index. Okay, we have a remove of index. What this method will do? Remove of index removes the element at the specified position in this vector. I mean, in this vector means stack is a vector only. There is a method called as remove. Okay, right? But we have the methods of push pop also. Suppose if I want to remove from top of the stack, then we have to call which method? Pop. If you want to insert from top of the stack, then we have to call push. If you want to remove from any index, then call remove. Then call remove. Okay, right? Because remove method exists in stack also. So stack has all the methods of list, plus stack also has stack related methods. What are the stack last in first out methods? Push and pop. So we want to test with push and pop, not with add, remove like that. So sorry. So push of, for example, 20. So on top of 10, 20 is pushed. On top of 20, 30 is pushed. And on top of 30, 40 is pushed. For example, now I am writing stack dot add of 50. Stack dot add of 60. So I am not getting an error when I'm adding it. Not only push method, even I can also call add method. Add method is from list, but push method is related to stack. But both are used to add an element to the list, add an element to the vector, or add element to the stack simply. Okay, first which element is pushed? 10. On top of that 20, on top of that 30, on top of that 40. Next, on top of that, what are the elements added? 50 and 60. Let's see. I want to display the elements of stack. Let's say system.out.println elements of stack. System.out.println elements of stack. Okay, elements of stack. So how can I display elements of stack? Now for each loop I can use for integer x colon stack. I can use for each loop system.out.println. Otherwise I can call print method also. I can call what? Print. Print of what? I want to say print of x. I want to say print of x. And if I want to give some space between one element and other element, I can write space. If I run this program, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. What are all these? These are the current elements of the stack. Actually, on top of 10, 20 is pushed. On top of 20, 30. On top of 30, that is 40. On top of 40, that is 50 and 60. The total elements are 10 to 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. These are the elements of the stack. Okay, right? Now, I'll tell you. For example, stack dot pop. Okay. What this pop method will do? Will remove the element from where? Top of the stack. And if you want to store, you can store that, or you can directly system.out.println display that element. Display that element. Stack.pop. Let's see which element is pop out. Okay, which element is pops out? We want to see. System.out.println empty means control should go to next line. Or if you want, you can give some kind of design. Run this and see the output. Which element is removed? 60. 60 is removed because who is there on top? 60. Okay, we can call push method or we can call add method. Who is there on top? No, 60. Obviously, pop will remove the last in, first out. No? Who is the last into the stack? 60. Who is the first out of the stack? 60. Suppose if I want to remove, for example, let's say, just these are all, for example, let's say, I'll do one thing. This is pop operation. Similarly, I want to call remove operation. System.out.println, again a separator. Then system.out.println, remove of 2. Remove of 2 means what? Element at index 2, na? Stack dot remove of 2. What is 2 now? Index. 2 is a index. Who is the element at index 2 I want to remove? Okay. Who is the element at index 2 I want to remove now? 10 is at index 0. 20 is at index 1. 30 is at index 2. I want to remove the element at index 2. At index 2, who is there? 30. 30. Okay. So tell me, remove of 2 is how much? 30. Pop is 60. Remove of 2 is 30. 30. Because who is there at index 2? It is 30. 30. Which means what? Which means basically thing is what? A stack is also like we can use like a vector or we can use like array list only. But apart from that, stack also contains additional methods called what? Push and pop.
Remove.
Push and pop.
Oh.
Okay, push will push the element on top of the stack. Pop will remove from top of the stack. That's it. For pop, we cannot pass index. But if you want remove from any other index, then you can call which method? Remove method. So these methods are there. Add of index. We can use iterator. Right. We can use for each loop. We can use iterator. Correct. But we don't have any list iterator. See, for example, just only I'm showing you. Stack dot iterator. Can I call the method iterator? Stack dot iterator method is there, na? Similarly, stack dot list iterator. Oh, it is also there. Good. Yeah, it is also there. Which is also there even? List iterator. List iterator can move the cursor in forward direction as well as backward direction. So basic thing is what now? It is because list iterator is coming from list interface, na? Correct. It is there. Sure. Okay. So almost working with array list or working with vector or working with stack, all these are same. But one thing is what? Array list is not a synchronized object, nothing but it is not a thread safe object. But if you take a vector or stack, they are synchronized thread safe objects. And stack also contains additional operations. What are the additional operations? Push, pop. Pop is to remove from top of the stack. Push is to push the element at top of the stack. And you also have one more method called a search. Or the one more method is the search. Let's say, for example, system.out.println. Again, we'll give some space, separator, line separator. Then I'll write something like this now. System.out.println. I just want to say search now. I want to search for the element. I want to search for the element 50. So how can I search? Stack dot search of 50. Okay, so you'll return the index now, right? When I'm searching, what is the index it is giving me? 1. It's giving me 1. Why it is called 1? Why it is such? Why it is giving me such element index is 1? Because the elements are added.
60 is removed.
Okay, the element is added from 10 on top of the 20, 20 up of the 30, 30 out of that 40, then to 50, 60. But 60 is removed now. Pop will remove the top element, that is called 60.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then who is there on top now? 50.
50.
So what is the position of the 50? 1.
1.
1.
Yeah, position of the 50 is 1. Am I right? Position of the 50 is what? 1. Are you getting my point? Right. Sure. Suppose
Yes,
if I
sir.
add one more element, better. Stack dot add of 70. Stack dot add of, see the indexes now, 80. And stack dot add of 90. Add or push anything. Push of 90. We can call add method or push method. Tell me totally how many elements are there? 9 elements are there.
9.
What pop method will do? Pop method will
Topmost element, it will
the
remove.
topmost element is 90. 90. When I say remove of 2, which element will be removed?
80.
Remove of 2 means which element will be removed? Remove method will take
80.
index starting with 0. Okay.
Okay.
Who is the top element?
70.
Top element is 80.
90.
Okay. 70 is the second element. And I mean index 1. 60 is the
Index 2.
index 2. Okay, now see the output here. Oh, remove of 30. It is removing from start 0 only. Okay. Search is coming from top.
Top.
Yeah, remove is coming from index 0. That's why it is 30, correct. Okay.
But sir,
We
in
don't use
stack,
much.
it will be top only.
No. I'll tell you. What is the point I'm saying is totally 9 elements are there. Let me show you.
Yes.
There are 9 elements. There are 9 elements in the totally this stack has 9 elements. This is stack. This is a stack actually. Now this stack is containing totally 9 elements. This is the
Yes.
first element. This is the first element added, that is 10. This is the second element added, which is 20. Okay, this is the next element added, 30. This is 30. This is 40. Let's say this is 50. This is 60. This is 70. This is 80. The top element is 90. So totally there are elements like this now. See, this is 10. This is 10. This is what? 20. This element is what? 20. Now this element is what? 30. Okay, this element is what? 40. Now this element is what? 50. This element is 60. This element is 70. This element is 80. Okay, who is the top element now? 90. Okay, what is the index of the elements? This element index is 0. This element index is 1. This element index is 2.
2.
Like this, okay? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Like this we have. Okay, when I say remove will remove from index. That's why it is removing 30.
Okay.
Pop will remove the top element. Top element is 90. Is removed. But when you call search, for example, search will search on one based position from top. Search method, pop method, push method, they work on from
Stack.
top. From top. Search method works from top. Pop method also works from top. Push method also works from top, because these are the methods of stack class. So search of 50. Okay, search of 50 means what? The top element is what now? 80. Okay, 1. Second element from top. Third element from top. This is called fourth element from top. Means what is the position of 50 from top? 4. Okay. What's the position of 50 from top? It is 4. That's why we are going to get answer is what? 4. For example, if I say 40, for example, if I say 40, search of 40, what's the position of 40 from top? From top. This is first element from top, second element, third element, fourth element. This is fifth element. Fifth element, not
element.
index 5, fifth element. It is 1 based index of 5. So what's the search of 40? 5. Okay, let's see. Let's add search of 40. Let's see what we are getting. Let's run this. Let's run this. Okay, you can see search of 50. What's the answer? 5. Just now we discussed now, right? Which means search, push, pop. These methods work from top. Normally, the remove method, add method, they work with 0 based index. They are index based, 0 based index. Okay, na?
Search of 40, no, sir. It is showing search of 50.
Sorry.
Search of 40 you have written, no?
No, no. I mean, actually, I changed here 40, but in the string,
Okay,
I have
but
not
here it
changed.
is. Okay, okay, understood, sir.
Yeah, better. I don't want to give confusion to anyone. Okay.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Done. So they just you practice this program and leave it, because we never use this type of code anywhere. Just to know about, there is a method called push pop. That's it. This is just a small program you for your just practice, but actually we don't use this program because we don't work with the stack at in any applications. Okay. So next we'll move on. This is okay. This is the program that we have on stack class, and we leave it. Now we discuss about sorting the elements of a list. We discuss about a concept called sorting the elements of a list. Sorting the elements of a list. Okay. Sorting the elements of a list. Okay, so come to the point. Let's understand about how do we sort the elements of a list. Sorting will take time because we have multiple sorting of, multiple interfaces to do sorting. Let's see, understand about, first of all, what is the meaning of sorting the elements of a list. For example, I have array list now. For example, I have an array list now. Let's say, for example, I'm creating one array list demo program. I have array list demo 1, example 1. These are all strings now. Okay, let's better to take. I can even use the strings also, but okay, I want to go with okay, I'll go with strings only, no problem. It doesn't matter whether I'm going with the strings or whether I'm going with integers. Okay, I have array list of strings. Okay, it will allow duplicate elements also, so I can use duplicate element, no issue. Okay, just let's add list one dot add of let's say Clark. Okay, let's say Blake, let's say Smith. Some elements I'm adding, some names I'm adding, right? Smith, let's say Blake. Now, guys, we have array list of, okay, we have array list of almost 8 elements. Okay, we have array list of 8 elements now.
Yes, sir.
Now, actually, our requirement is what now? We want to sort all these elements. Of course, these are strings now. If they are integers, based on integer values. If they are strings, based on the characters. Okay, alphabetical order. Okay. Our requirement is what? We want to sort the list of strings, array list. We want to sort the elements of this array list object. How can I do that? If I want to sort the elements of a list, okay, if I want to sort the elements of a list, we have a method called, we have a class called as arrays. Okay, we have a class called what? Arrays. When I call arrays.sort method, you know, no, arrays.sort method, when
Yes,
we call,
sir.
you know about at the time of discussing arrays, how we can sort the
Sir.
elements. If you look at the sort method here,
Yes.
this is to sort the byte array, character array, double array, float array, integer array, long array, object array, or next short array, something like that, correct? These are all the sort
Yes.
methods, but these are all used to work with what now? Arrays. But what is our object? Array list
List.
object. Array list object. For example, if I write of list 1, it will give me an error. So why it is giving me an error at line number 21?
Okay.
Okay, at 21 line,
Next week.
I got an error because I cannot use arrays.sort method.
Sort method is
Arrays.sort method is only for sorting the
Arrays.
arrays.
Sorting the arrays.
Yeah, it could be an integer array, or it could be a double array, it could be float array, it could be character array, it could be integer array, byte array, whatever it is. But this is for what? Only to what? Sort the elements of what?
Sorting the arrays.
Sort the elements of what? Array. Array, not the
Array.
array list. In Java, in collections, there is a class given called as collections. I told collection is an interface, right? We know that collection is what? An interface.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Collections is an interface. Collection is an interface. Collections is a class.
Class.
Yeah. So I can call the method like this. What I can write? Collections dot sort. Of list 1. Look at this now. Which method I'm calling now? Not arrays.sort. In place of arrays.sort, what I need to write? Collections.sort. Collections is what? Class. Collection is what? An interface. And it has a method called what? Sort. Collections class contains all static methods. Yesterday, we discussed about how to make array list object as a synchronized object. Means thread safe object. I told in collections class, we have a method called a synchronized list. And how can we make array list object as immutable object? Again, I told collections dot unmodifiable list. Collections is what basically? Class. Collection is an interface. Collections is what? Class. Collections class contains static methods. The class totally contains all static methods. Collections class is containing all the static methods. Static method can be called directly with the class name. As you know that static method can be called with the class name. No need of creating an object. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Correct. So I'm calling collections dot. There is a method called what? Sort.
Sort.
Very good. Collections dot sort will sort what?
List elements.
List elements. Who are the list element here? Strings. Okay. They're sorted in which order? Obviously, alphabetical order.
Yes.
Alphabetical order. Okay. Let me do one thing. System.out.println elements of array list. Elements of array list after sorting. Let's print out elements of array list after sorting. Elements of array list after sorting. I want to print them for string str colon list 1. You know about how to use for each loop. How can I start for each loop? System.out.println of what? str. Am I clear with this?
Yes, sir.
System.out.println of what? str. What I want to do now, I want to run this program. I want to run this program now. Now you can see they are sorted in ascending order. ln,
Yes.
A capital, B, C, J, K, R, S. They are sorted in order. So how can we sort the elements of an array list object or a linked list object or a vector or a stack object? By calling collections dot sort. Collections dot sort. Sort is a method. So the sort method we can pass a list. It could be array list object or linked list object or vector object, because all are list objects only na. All they are list objects only na. Am I correct? Am I correct? So there is a method called sort method available. Correct. Tell me, if I pass list of strings, tell me this is an array list object of strings na. Here the element type is what? String.
String type.
Element type is string type, which is nothing but what? All the elements are string type. Strings are sorted in which order? Alphabetical, ascending alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, like that. If they are integers, integer values, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, something like that, based on integer value. Correct? Now I have a question. Suppose I have created an array list object like this. Array list of employee list 1 is equal to new array list of employee. Tell me this time my array list is okay. What is the element type? What type of elements this list has? Employee objects. Okay, let's say for example 10 employees are added to list 1. 10 employees are added to the object. I'm not writing the code, added, assume that. Now my question is, how can we sort these elements? How can we sort the elements of this array list object? How can we sort the elements of this? Normally, how do you sort the elements of a list object? Collections dot sort method you can call. What I can pass? List object. But tell me, in this case, this list object has what type of elements are there in this list? What type of elements are there in this list object? What type of elements are there in this list object? What type of elements are there in this list object? Employee. What type of elements are there? Employee type. This is array list of employee, na? So this list has employee objects. Then tell me, if I say collections dot sort, On what basis the employees are sorted? On what
Alphabetical
basis?
order.
On what basis? Which alphabetical order? Employee number alphabetical order, employee name alphabetical order, salary order, or experience order, or
Name.
gender order?
Name.
Name and gender.
Did you get my point?
Yes, sir.
This is not going to sort now. This will give an error. Let's see how. And also tell you the reason. Okay. Let's see. Already we have a program, but look at this. This is clear now, because these are all strings. In which order they are sorted?
Alphabetical.
Alphabetical order. If they are integers or
No.
double values,
No.
if they are integers or bytes or characters or
No.
or float or double, based on their values, the collections or sort method will sort the elements. Correct? Will sort the elements of this collection. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. Coming to array list demo 2 program. Already this program we have executed. I have copied it for you. Everything is cool. So I just want to remove this code. Okay. Tell me, this list has how many employees here? We already written the program, right? 3, 3, 3. Totally how many employees? 9 employees are there, right? This program already we have discussed. How many employees are there here?
9.
9 employees are there, right? Good. When I call this method called get employees, this method only I'm calling now.
Yeah.
I told that this method returns me what object? List object.
Employee.
I'm storing in LST variable. Now LST variable holds list object now. Yes, it is a reference variable. Reference variable stores object. Now LST is a reference variable, stores what object? List object. Array list object. Correct? It stores a array list object. Collections dot sort of LST. See, at line number 94, what we are getting? Error. But if you look at our previous program, we written, this is a previous program. Okay, we written collections are sort of list 1. Are you getting error?
No.
No. No error at line number 22. The same statement here also I am writing at line number 94. But this time I am getting what?
Error.
Error. Which means this is where you need to understand now. Okay. If, for example, you want to sort the elements of list, it could be array list or linked list or vector, because all they are called list objects only, na? Array list object is called a list object. Linked list is also called as a list object. Vector is also called as a list object, because all they are implementations of, these are all the implementation classes of which interface only?
List.
List interface only. So to sort the elements of a list, to sort the elements of a list object, the elements in that list object, I repeat once again, the elements of that list object should be comparable objects. What objects?
Comparable.
Comparable objects. Okay. It takes time to digest also. It's not so easy to get it immediately. See here. Tell me here, the list is, the elements in this list are what, first of all? What type of elements are stored in this list?
Array
Array
list.
list.
No. What type of elements are stored in this list?
String type.
String
String
type.
type.
String type. Okay. String objects are, or the elements of type string are comparable objects. I mean, they are comparable elements. Strings are comparable elements. How do you say strings are comparable elements? First of all, how do you know that whether it is a comparable element or not a comparable element? For that, the class must implement an interface called comparable.
Comparable.
The class must implement comparable. I'm going to open the string class. Tell me, this is class string. It's given by Java for us, and it implements.
So comparable interface.
Okay, which interface?
Comparable.
Comparable. That's why strings are comparable elements. What about integer?
Integer is not
They are also
Integer
comparable
is also
elements.
comparable.
Let's open the integer class in Java. What's the class name? Integer. Integer class implements
comparable.
comparable. Tell me, how can you say that integer elements, string elements in a list object are comparable elements?
Because this is a wrapper class.
How do you say that
They have
the elements
they have
of type
implemented
string,
comparable.
the elements of type
Type
integer in a list object are
integer.
comparable elements because those classes implements
Comparable interface.
comparable elements.
Comparable interface.
Tell me, why I am not getting error at line number 22?
Because
I am not getting error line number 22 because the list object has
string.
string elements,
It is
and
a
string
string.
elements are comparable elements. Why I am getting error at line number 94 here? The list has
Multiple
employee elements. List has what?
Employee.
Employee elements. Employee elements are not.
object.
No.
Comparable.
Employee elements are not comparable elements. Tell me now, my employee elements are comparable elements or not a comparable elements?
Not a comparable.
Not a comparable element. How do you know whether it is a comparable element or not a comparable element?
If they are not
If the class implements
implementing
comparable
comparable.
interface, it is comparable element. Otherwise, it is not a
comparable.
comparable. Tell me, employee class. Look at the employee class. Is this employee class implements comparable?
No.
Is this employee class implements comparable interface? No.
No.
Tell me now, employee elements are comparable elements or not comparable elements?
Not comparable.
Not comparable elements. That's why we are getting error at line number 94. Am I clear?
So
Yes.
if we write comparable in
I'll
employee,
explain that.
then
Okay.
will it get
If you are implementing
Okay.
interface, you have to override the method also, na? Suppose if a class
Yes.
implements an interface, the class has to override abstract methods of the interface.
yes.
Yeah, I will tell you that. So directly just by
Okay.
writing implements comparable doesn't give you the solution. We have to override the method also. Okay, I'll tell you. First of all, let's talk about sorting the elements of a list. Let's say example 1. Example 1. First, I will copy. This code I will copy.
Sir, we can conclude that user-defined data types are not comparable. Can we say
Correct.
like that?
Correct. Yes, correct only. You can say. It's correct only actually. Let me first do one thing. First, I want to write this as example code 1. Now, this is my example code 1. I have created one array list object. Then I have added all the elements. This is my example code 1. And I'm just writing collections.sort. I'll write the point here. What's the point? To sort the elements of a what object? List object. To sort the elements of a list object. Okay. We have to call sort method. Which method? Sort. Sort method of which class? Collections class. So of course, which method here also I am calling? To sort the elements of a list object. Which method I am calling?
Sort.
Sort method of which class?
Collections.
Collections class. That's what collections.sort, na? What's the statement? Collections.sort of list. Is the statement? Good. Tell me. Okay. To sort the elements, okay, to sort the elements of a list, that list must contain what type of elements? Comparable elements. Are the string elements are comparable elements? Integers are comparable elements? What
Yes.
about employee?
No.
No. What about customer? No.
No.
What about order? What about item? What about product?
No.
No.
Not comparable.
What about integer? What about double? What about string?
Yes, they are
Comparable.
comparable.
Yes, they are comparable elements. Okay. So basically, to sort the elements, of list object. List object, I mean array list object or linked list object or vector object. All are called list objects. Okay. To sort the elements of list object, of a list object. Tell me to sort the elements of a list object. The elements of the list object must be what objects? What type of elements? Must be comparable elements. Comparable elements. What do you mean by comparable elements? When do you say they are comparable elements?
If the class implements the
If the
comparable
class
interface.
implements comparable interface, then they are called
Comparable elements.
comparable elements. If the class implements what? If the class implements comparable interface, then they are called comparable elements. Am I clear? Okay. If the class implements, or if a class implements which interface? Comparable interface. If a class implements comparable interface, then the objects of that class becomes what elements? Comparable elements. For example, string class implements what? String class implements which interface? String class
Comparable
implements what?
interface.
Comparable interface, na? For example, string class
Yes.
implements comparable interface. So the objects of type string, are what type of elements? Comparable elements. Comparable elements. Okay. In the above example, array list object has what type of elements? String elements. Correct? Array list object has what elements? String elements. Okay. So the elements are sorted in what order? Alphabetical order. Strings are sorted in which order? Alphabetical order. Integers are sorted based on the value, integer value. Doubles are sorted based on double value, like that. But what about employee? What about customer? What about product or order? Something like that, policy and all. They are not comparable elements by default. That's why we cannot sort. Next. Let's say another example I'm writing. This notes is very important, guys. Keep these notes with you forever. Example 2. Okay, just I'm writing by manually. Let's say, for example, I'm creating array list of employee. List is equal to new array list of employee. LST or list dot add of okay, just I'm writing only new employee. New employee means creating object. Field that employee number is 101. Employee name is John. Salary is 3,000. I don't want all these values. Just only for example, I'm writing the code here. Okay. Assume that my employee has only 3 data. What are the three elements of employee? What are the 3 attributes? Sorry. What are the 3 attributes of my employee? Number, name, salary. Assume that only. This is only for example I'm writing now. For example, I'm writing, guys. Sorry. Okay. This is 119. This is 108. This is 111. Okay, he is a Smith. Okay, salary 2,000. He is Allen. Salary 4,000. This is Clark. Salary 5,000. Okay. Tell me now, this array list has how many elements? 4 elements. 4 employees, na? What happens if I write collections dot sort of list? Collections dot sort of list. What will happen here? Error. Okay. I'm writing here. What happens here? Collections dot sort of list. Statement. Gives an error. Gives an error. Why it is giving an error? Because the list object, what the list object has what elements?
Not comparable.
No. What elements are there? Employee elements.
Employee.
The list object has employee elements. Employee elements, I mean elements are nothing but objects only. Na? The list object has employee objects or employee elements, and they are not what elements? Comparable elements. Comparable elements. That is my answer. Did you got the 2 examples now? Example 1 and example 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now question is now how to make them as comparable elements. There is an interface called comparable. Let's see.
Comparable interface.
Now I'll start. Tell me now, these employees are comparable elements or not comparable elements? They are not comparable elements. How can I make them as comparable elements?
To implement a comparable interface.
I need to implement this class from comparable interface. How can I implement class employee? Implements what? Comparable. Comparable is also generic type. Comparable of employee. Okay. Class employee implements what? Comparable. Implements means it's an interface. It's an interface. This interface has one abstract method. Tell me if a class implements interface. Okay. If a class implements interface, then class must override. If a class implements interface, then class must override
Its
all
methods.
in interface. What interface can contain? What can you write inside interface?
Abstract
methods.
What can you write inside interface?
Abstract methods.
Abstract methods you can write. Any other things you can write? Interface is a collection of what and what?
Variable. Public static abstract variables and
Abstract variable.
we
don't have an abstract variable.
Static variable.
Abstract variables we don't have in Java.
Abstract methods.
Abstract method is okay. Abstract class is okay. But abstract variable is not there. Na?
Yes. Sir.
Suppose if the question comes in interview, what is an interface? Tell me what is the answer you want to say today.
Static final variables and
Finite
abstract
variables and abstract methods.
An interface is a collection of public static final variables and public abstract methods. You open your notes, you can see the statement in the interfaces topic.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. What is an interface? It is a collection of public static final variables and public abstract methods. Because in interface, we can create abstract methods, and also we can create static and final variables. In interface by default, all the variables and all the methods are public. That's why interface is a collection of public static final variables and public abstract methods. Did you get my point? Interface is a collection of public static final variables and public abstract methods.
Abstract.
Very good. Tell me, suppose there is an interface. Suppose I have an interface, it has two abstract methods. Assume that I have an interface, right? It has how many abstract methods? 2. Now I want to create a class. And I want to implement that interface. Then tell me, in my class, how many abstract methods I have to override?
2.
Two abstract methods.
Yeah. I'll conclude the class. Tell me, guys. Yeah. Did you get my question first?
Yes, sir. We need to override the 2 abstract methods.
Exactly. Correct. You guys are very slow. Okay. Do one thing. Prepare so far whatever we discussed in Java. I don't want to take the session tomorrow. I'm repeatedly telling once again, tomorrow's session is cancelled because of poor response from your end. I don't want to take the session tomorrow because I put lot of energy and good examples to give my level best. But you people are not doing your work. I told at the beginning of the classes only, with a single hand, I cannot clap. I cannot make a sound. Okay. If my 50%, if your 50% is combined, then only we can make a sound. That sound is nothing but you can crack an interview. Right. Okay. I'm deeply upset. Okay. Please prepare tomorrow and day after tomorrow, today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. All the OOPS concepts, starting from OOPS, everything, class, object, constructor, this, super, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction with abstract classes, interfaces, final keyword, static keyword, exception handling, right? And then into these collections. All these
Okay,
topics, please prepare once. All the topics prepare once. Okay, right? That is the only thing that you need to complete all these things in these 2 days of time. So that at least you can answer from Monday. Right? Again, in the next week, we have a holiday probably for August 15, that is on Thursday. And I'm not sure whether I won't take the class on 16th or not. Okay. I know that again in the next week, there may be a couple of holidays for you. But still, I don't want to take the class tomorrow. Okay, please go through it. Then we will continue. Okay, so currently I'm not explaining anything to you. I would like to stop the class here. Please prepare and come back on Monday. We'll continue this on Monday again. Okay, because with this type of learning, there is no use, right? There is no use of attending my class and attending XYZ's class. What's the use? What's the difference? Right, okay. I can also take the examples of class A, class B, class C, B extends A, C extends B. This is called inheritance. One simple example, M1, M2 methods I can complete. If I explain like that, maybe 1 month back only your core Java class is completed. I know it take these many months also. Okay. Because my intention is this should be there with you for lifelong. You have to maintain these notes, keep it with you, keep it in your drive. It should be there with you for a lifelong. One or the other, definitely it is going to help you every time. So that's why actually I'm taking these many months, as well as by giving these many examples, and by taking different examples instead of taking M1, M2, X, Y, Z like that. So please understand it, and first of all go through. Once again, nothing is there, nothing is happened. At least now you can wake up. From OOPS concept till today, whatever is completed, please try to go through once each and every point clearly, understand it, and once again practice all these programs. Okay, once again practice all these programs. We will come back on Monday. We'll continue on Monday again. Thank you. Okay. I'll talk about comparable concept on Monday. Okay. We'll continue on Monday. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.